I think you would definitely have the category of person who is not comfortable or familiar or maybe has never been into a church.
Yes.
And you would assume that person doesn't have any knowledge of the Bible or even the gospel. Maybe they might have heard a thing or two. But so you have to be mindful that there's that category of just very new or very unaware of what's going on. Unbeliever. You can make that category. And then I think you have a category of people that are mature believers. If you go to the other side of the spectrum, we have people in our church now that bring their notebooks. They have their Bibles. They're all highlighted. Yeah. They've been in church for 100 years. It's a retirement community in Florida. So they're there. They know exactly where the books of the Bible are. They know where the cross references are. They can finish the sentence if you're quoting a verse before you quote it. Then I think you have generational categories. For example, I mentioned there's the older group in our church, the mature believers, and then you have the young kids being 20s, okay. And just they're adults, but they're in a season of life where they have probably been in church. I'm just thinking of in our church now in Florida, and there's a pretty good sized group of young people who are familiar with Christianity, but they are not educated in the Bible. And that's one of our key things in Calvary Chapel is digging a little bit deeper than you would in a lot of churches that tend to attract that demographic.
Yes.
So unbelievers or new to church, young people who are familiar with church, principles of the gospel, yet don't have that biblical depth, older seasoned Christians who have their notebooks and highlights. And there's probably other categories. Maybe you have a few that you can think of.
Do you know what William Perkins says?
What?
So William Perkins was one of those old Puritans, and he wrote about because Puritans are so thorough.
Yes.
You know, and they
I used to read the Puritans all the time. I loved them.
Yeah, me too. I think it was fashionable.
It was fashionable
a couple of years
then.
ago. Yeah. And if there's a trend, dude, I'm following it. But so they would have like a passage, and then they would, kind of expound a passage, and then apply it to one group, and then apply it to the next group, and then apply it to the next group. Kind of laborious. But William Perkins, I looked it up. He says that there's 7.
Oh man!
Unbelievers who are ignorant and unteachable.
Okay.
Unbelievers who are teachable but ignorant.
Yeah.
Those who have knowledge but have never been humbled. Those who may have been humbled but are still not converted. Dang. Those who already believe. Those who are backsliding. And then a mixed congregation of believers and unbelievers.
Those who are backsliding, I think that would be another category I would put.
Yes.
Because you get a lot of people that have been in church but out of church for a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
And now they're coming back for one reason or another. Yeah. And they're there. Yeah, that's a good category.
Yeah. Funny though, he just says those who already believe. Whereas many of what you're even thinking about, those are various kinds of Christians.
Yeah.
And for him, he just lumps, Christians are one thing. Yeah. And then, so essentially this is like a list of 6 different kinds of unbelievers.
Yeah. Do you think those who already believe, do you think it was just back in that culture that if you were a real Christian, they just kind of assumed that you knew and were educated in the scripture?
Well, here's what I heard. I heard someone say this is why the Puritans preached the way that they did, because they had such a Christian community that in these, especially I guess
Plymouth Rock
conclaves, yes, everyone there is a Christian. So-called, or, and so their biggest concern is people that know all the right thing and that go to church, but their heart isn't converted. And so they'd go so hard and so deep. And the idea is yes, you know all this and you can recite the Bible verses, but are you truly converted?
Yeah.
And then I guess that's why even backsliding is a bigger category for them, because everyone is from a Christian background. Right. Everyone's a Christian heritage in Plymouth Rock.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's certainly not the case in my context.
No, it's weird, and Florida's weird too. No offense, Florida. I like Florida, so many things, but it is, I guess you would call it Christian, but I guess this is America in one sense. It's like we're Christians, but there's a lot of non-Christian belief and behavior that accompanies that. So It's hard to do that, man. It's hard because you want to preach grace. I mean, grace is the answer. And then, but yet you see so many people that think they know what Christianity is, yet lives don't line up.
Yeah.